Hello ladies, it is Tiffany of Clarity, Confidence, Courage, Women's Empowerment. Welcome or welcome back. Today's topic is super important and very close to my heart, and that is about why women need to center themselves now. Now, if you are watching this currently, it is March of 2024, and this is Women's History Month. Now, of course, this video can be relevant no matter when you're watching it, but the reason why I found it so timely is because this is Women's History Month, and a lot of things are happening in this world that involve women. And I want to bring this topic up because what I have come to realize, being a single woman who is not in a relationship, who doesn't have children, I have a lot of time to focus on myself. Now, many of you know I was married, I've gotten divorced, I've gone through a lot of different things that I talk about openly on this channel. But once I got to a space where I had had enough, where I had enough abuse, where I had enough, degradation and put downs and just enough of life being so difficult, I made a decision to center myself. And when I made that decision, my entire life changed. So I want to talk about why it is so important to center yourself, how centering yourself does not make you selfish, and the things that you can start doing today to center yourself and make you the center of your life. Now, before we jump in, as always, be sure to share, like, and subscribe so this video can get pushed up in the algorithm and other women just like you can learn how to rebuild, redefine, and thrive and create a life that they absolutely love. All right, let's jump into this topic. As I want to explain to you how I came to do this topic today, because this was not one of the topics that I had planned on talking about in this video. Hadn't even planned on it. But I woke up early this morning. I get up at 4 a.m. I went to my Spanga class, which is a combination of spin, strength training, and yoga. It was a lot of fun. It's my joy. I went to class. I had a great class. I had a great instructor. It was high energy. We ended with yoga, got into my yoga flow, just really poured into myself. And then once I left my fitness class, I got home, kind of brushed my teeth, washed my hands, and I meditated. And I meditated and I journaled and I gave gratitude and I prayed and I just allowed myself to pour into myself. And I do it every single day. I said my affirmations in the mirror. Took my shower, got dressed, and it just felt so good. And I literally spent the morning pouring into myself, which is what I do every day as a single woman who centers herself. And it's interesting, while I was in the shower getting dressed, this video came to me. Something came to me, a voice spoke to me, what I call spirit, and said, okay, you need to do this video today, and this is what you're going to talk about, and this is what you're going to say, and it came to me just like that. The reason that I'm telling you this is because when you center yourself, when you make yourself the center of your world, you have the space and the time to pour into yourself, but also to receive the messages that you need to receive to live a life on purpose and on mission. Being able to give myself the space that I needed to pour into myself this morning opened me up to receive the message that I need to receive to start my work day, my creative day, my entrepreneurial day, giving to you, giving this video and this message to you. See how that works? When you pour into yourself, when you give yourself the space and the time that you need to do the inner work, the deep work, the healing, the affirming, the health and wellness, walking outside, getting fresh air, the meditation or the prayer or whatever you choose, yoga, whatever you choose to pour into you, when you give yourself that space to do that as the center of your life, then you have the strength, you have the energy, you have the joy, you have the messages to give to others. That's how this thing works. But when you don't have that, when you don't give yourself the space, you don't have the energy. As a matter of fact, you'll be drained. You'll be exhausted because you're giving from an empty cup, because you haven't given to yourself first. I hear so many people say this concept of women centering themselves is selfish. Yes, it is selfish. You need to be selfish. In the context that we're talking, you need to give to yourself. It doesn't mean you can't ever give to others, But what it does mean is that by giving to yourself, you build yourself. You build the fortitude and the joy within, so that when you give to others, you give from a joyful cup, from an overflowing cup. You can give happily and energetically, but you have to serve you first. You cannot have two masters. You must serve self first, whatever that means for you. And the reason why this is so important, especially now that we are in Women's History Month, is because, ladies, I don't know about you. I don't know about your family, but I had the honor, and yes, it is an honor. I had the honor of being partially raised by my grandmother, my mother's mother. I had the honor of knowing her. I had the honor of being able to meet my great-grandmother, my mother's grandmother. Yes, she was alive when I was a kid. I had the honor to meet my grandmother's great aunt when she was alive. The reason I say it's an honor, because these are women that went through horrific events in their lives. They went through trauma. They went through abuse. They went through so much. They endured so much, and yet they survived. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. You wouldn't be watching this video if it wasn't for your mother and your grandmother and your great-grandmother and the women who survived, whether you know them or not. And when I think about it from that perspective, when I think about the women who have come before me and who have had to endure things that I couldn't even imagine, when I think about that, I'm in awe and I'm thankful every single day for every freedom that I have. The freedom to be a single woman, the freedom to not have children, the freedom to just live in my own space, make my own money, the freedom to walk into a coffee shop if I want to by myself whenever I want to and get my own coffee. These are the things that we as women, sometimes we forget. We take for granted sometimes. And it wasn't so long ago. You couldn't even own your own house as a woman. That wasn't that long ago, ladies. So right now in this moment, we need to remember our freedoms, and not just for the month of March, for Women's History Month, but every single day. And ladies, every time you look at your arm, every time you look at the veins, remind yourself, the blood of your ancestors, the women who came before you, is in that vein. They are not gone, they are with you. Their DNA, their cells have all been passed down to you. Every time I look at the vein that runs through my arms, I say to myself, thank you to my ancestors. Thank you to my grandmother. Thank you to my great-grandmother. Thank you to my great-great-grandmother for their sacrifices that they had to make so that I could be here, that I could center myself, because they didn't have that choice. I could center myself and pour into myself and give to myself, and then in turn, from that space, give to the world. And so, ladies, I want you to start taking note. Where in your life are you not centering yourself? Where in your life can you give more to yourself? Because if you are like most women that I know, you give and you give and you give to everyone else, people, places, friends, family members, organizations, your job, your husband, your spouse, whoever, and you put yourself dead last. It's time to start giving to yourself. And if you're wondering, well, Tiffany, how can I do that? I have children, I'm married, or I have a partner, I have a career. How do I make the time to give to myself? That's the answer. You're going to have to make the time. And 9 times out of 10, there are things that you're giving to that you need to stop giving to. And you just take that time back and pour into yourself. Only you know that. Think about it. Think about right now what's burning you out, what's making you feel super stressed out, what is just sucking the life out of you. It's time to start evaluating your life and making a decision about what needs to go so that you can give that time back to yourself. Now, you don't have to do a full overhaul all in one time. This can be in steps. I highly recommend that you do it slowly. You don't have to do everything so fast. But start looking at your schedule and finding, where can I carve time? And I highly suggest you start in the morning, ladies. Yes, you may have to get up 15 minutes early or 20 minutes early or 30 minutes early and start a morning routine. I've done so many videos. As a matter of fact, I have one here about morning routines and how powerful it is to start your day affirming yourself, pouring into yourself, journaling, making a decision to create your day in the morning before it even begins. So get up early. And if that means that you have to go to bed a little bit later, go to bed later. It's worth it, because yes, your life is dependent on it. If that means that at night when you're having to rustle up the house, see if you can get support, see if you can get help so you can go to bed early. If that means not cleaning up right before you go to sleep, don't clean up. Leave the dishes in the sink, go to bed early. If that means getting the kids in bed early, get them in the bed early so that you can go to bed early. You have to make some sacrifices in other parts of your life in order to center yourself again. If that means not spending as much time with friends or family members or romantic partners or whoever it is, do that. If that means that you're not spending so much time after work, still at work, working, do that. 9 times out of 10, they're not paying you for overtime anyway. You need to start focusing on you. And when you start focusing on you, you get clarity. You get immense clarity on the next steps of your life. How to build your confidence, how to have more courage, how to truly step into your power and live on your terms. But you can't get there unless you give yourself the space that you need. And if you're watching this, you are worthy. And if no one ever said it to you or gave you permission, I'm giving it to you now. Center yourself, pour into yourself, allow yourself to feel your own worthiness. Give yourself the space and grace to do that for yourself. And it doesn't have to be about fitness. It could be about anything. You could take a painting class. You could have time for yourself again in the morning to affirm and meditate. Maybe a yoga class, maybe going for a walk, maybe having space to just play a game or do adult coloring. Whatever helps you center yourself, do it for yourself. And maybe it'll start small. But I promise you, within that time, your brain is going to give you clarity. And just like I got messages this morning to do this video, you're going to start getting messages in that time frame of you sitting yourself. You're going to have clarity about some things that is going to move you forward in life that you couldn't figure out. The way through is actually within. I had to learn it the hard way. So as you begin this journey to clarity, confidence, and courage, as you begin this journey to centering yourself, start with a morning routine. And within that morning routine, start affirming yourself. Start giving yourself the love and the affection that you either need or may have never gotten. Then download my Empowered Boundaries workbook. I'm going to put it right here. The link is in the description. It's absolutely free. It's on my website. Because ladies, you need to start creating boundaries. If you're watching this video and you're like nodding like, yeah, Tiffany, I do. You need to start understanding what it means to have boundaries in your life. Part of the reason you can't center yourself is because you don't have the time, because you have no boundaries. Start making boundaries around your time. Start making boundaries around your energy, and start learning how to verbalize them to other people. So that book tells you all about it. That e-guide tells you all about it. It's absolutely free and it's on my website. The link is below. And the third thing I would say, start allowing yourself to feel what it feels like to enjoy your freedom. Give gratitude for your freedom. Give gratitude for the women who came before you. Because if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have survived. Some woman in your lineage died in childbirth to have a child that is your ancestor. Again, the reason why you're here. She gave her life indirectly for you. Be grateful for that. Remember that. Be thankful for it. And every time you go to that coffee shop and you buy yourself a cup of coffee, every time you go travel to another country, every time you have the freedom to get in your car and travel where you want to go, remember them, because they didn't have that. They had to make sacrifices and they had to endure things that you and I possibly have never had to endure. So be grateful for your female ancestors, the women that came before you every single day. Give them thanks. So that is all I have for this video. It's already running extremely long, but this is what came to me today. I had planned to release another video today, But this is the message that came to me through me in order to give to you. We must center ourselves. We must give back to ourselves. And the time is now, not yesterday, not in the future, now. There is no other time. Give to yourself, love yourself, make you the center of your world. And I promise you, not only will you be happier for it, the people who love and care about you, they'll see the difference and they'll be happy for you. The ones who don't probably need to leave your life anyway. So that is all that I have for you today. Remember, continue to build your journey to clarity, confidence, and courage. Continue to love yourself, continue to pour into yourself, continue to center yourself, and you will create a life that you only used to dream about. As always, be sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.